I know you've helped so many people.
Yeah.
Was that one memorable experience? That one that's most memorable? Someone that you helped?
Yeah, there's one that sticks out. I mean, I hate to say that because there's so many. Everyone I've helped really had a unique story.
Right.
I must say that. But there was this one, a pregnant woman.
Oh, wow.
She reached out. She lived in Colorado, and she wanted to get clean for her baby. And I did everything I could. We raised the money. I told her that I would fly her to Boston, and she could not make it to the airplane.
How far along was she at that point?
I want to say she was 7 months.
Oh,
I think
wow.
she thought she was like 5 months pregnant, but she turned out to be like 7 months pregnant.
Oh, so when at first she didn't even know she was pregnant initially.
Probably not, no.
Wow.
She wanted to get clean so bad, to have her baby. And my mission was to save her and that baby. So I tried to get her to Boston. I had a facility lined up, raised the money. She could not get out here for the life of her. She missed 5 airplanes. She kept going to the airport and just missing the flight because she had to get high before. And so I finally said, screw it. I'm going to hop on a plane.
I'm going to come pick you up.
I went to Colorado. I met her. Wait, I'm trying to think. Hold on. No, I met her in California. My memory's so fucking bad. Do you remember? I went to Colorado.
You went to Colorado, then you
And then I flew with her.
with her to.
Yeah. So I met her in Colorado and got her on the plane. Then we got off in California because I had the place out there. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I scholarshiped her. I don't think we raised money. I don't know. I guess we can cut that part out or whatever. My memory's so bad. But anyway, I got her to California. And when she came off the airplane, she had to go to the bathroom. So she must have smuggled stuff on the plane. So when she got to California in the bathroom, she was getting high. So I couldn't go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting an hour, 2 hours goes by. And, our rides out there, my best friend was picking us up. And he couldn't stay in the lane. He had to keep going.
Yeah, you go keep
And so I'm like, what are you doing? So I had to have people look for her. And finally she came out. And she was in such bad shape. Like, she got in the car and she was just like this. She wouldn't even move.
Wow.
When we pulled up to the place, we found out that we had to leave and go straight to the hospital. She was not moving at all. So we literally pulled up to the facility and we met the people there. And I was trying to get her out of the car and she would not come out.
Damn.
So we went straight to the ER. My buddy put his flashers on, literally like running red lights. And it was crazy. So we finally got her there. I had this video out there somewhere because I made video about it. We had to get her wheelchair. I lifted her up, put her in the wheelchair, brought her in there. And they ended up, taking care of her, doing what they had to do. And the most amazing thing about this is she had the baby and the baby was fucking perfectly healthy. Like, normally when someone gets high and they're pregnant 7 months in, that baby's going to come out
It's
deformed.
gonna be affected.
Yeah. And her baby is perfectly healthy.
Little angel.
And she thought it was going to be a girl. So she was going to name the baby Victoria. And it turns out when the baby came out, it was a boy. So she named him Armani Victor after me.
And Victoria would have been after you as well, right?
Yeah, for the girl.
Well, you can't,
yeah, so she named the baby after
Victoria.
me. Because of what, I shouldn't say I did, because of what we did.
Yeah.
Because I had people, my best friend helped me, and other people stepped in, and we made it work.
What's the update with her now?
She's doing great.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Two years later, over 2 years later.
Clean and sober.
Clean and sober. I check in
Baby's
with
good.
her. Baby's great. I got pictures.
She's
That's
raising
a
the baby.
update.
I'll
That's
show you
a
pictures.
update that people would love to want to see.
I'm going to show you right now.
He saved 2 lives there,
Yeah,
not
hell
one.
yeah.
You can even show the
Essentially, you
camera.
saved-
I'm sure
you
she won't
essentially
care.
saved 2
That
lives
he
there.
remembers of. Imagine what else he did.
Yeah.
That he's not putting on the record.
Yeah. Like you said, he got stories. It'd be another 2 shows with just the stories.
Yo, Matt,
There you go.
welcome again.
Oh, do you see the baby? Can you see the
You want me
baby?
to take it? Okay. Yeah, I'll send you. So I got him there.
Yeah, we
Beautifully
can put-
That's
we can
her
put it on the show.
with
Oh,
him.
wow.
She looks so much better.
Not bad, right?
Okay.
Not bad.
And
All
then-
right. She with anybody?
Shouts to
I don't know.
Colorado.
Now look at, here's today. Well, not today, but like recently. Look how big he is. Yeah, he's like over 2 years old now.
Yeah. Wow, that's popping, man.
He's on that side.
So I can
Right.
see, I can see why you say you never
bless.
stopping this.
No, I
I
never
can see.
stop.
Yeah, it's deeper than.
So-
It got to do with a lot.
Yeah, you get
Kids,
that little
family,
kid.
yeah,
You
that's
keep doing it. That
crazy.
little kid will follow in your
That-
footsteps one day. He'll say, "Hey, you the guy saved me." Then he'll be
Yeah.
one of your elves.
This is
Yeah.
giving me the chills right now looking at him.
Well, he's
Yeah,
Santa,
yeah.
and the kid's gonna be one of the elves. Santa
Hell
can't give
yeah,
out all the
yeah.
toys.
Well, I'm laughing respectfully because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
That's definitely.
Yeah, no.
He could be one of his little elves. Definitely
That's it,
helping
brother.
him.
That's the way it works.
Passing.
All
And
right,
then,
cool.
I mean, if you want me to go in real quick about Ryan,
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you real quick.
Go ahead.
Um,
There's no real quick. Tell us. Take whatever you.
So Ryan was another tough one. I would say he's one of my, tough cases. He died on me twice. He was in a coma. He was paralyzed, and now he's fine. Wow. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But he got clean and sober. I took him down to where was it? North Carolina. I got a scholarship down there. Rest in peace to the guy that got me the scholarship. He passed away recently. But I'm very thankful for that opportunity because without that opportunity, Ryan would not be here. So Ryan, I sent him down North Carolina. When I first found Ryan on the streets, he looked like Popeye. His arm was so big. He had staph infection. It was basically going septic. So we got him down there just in time. He had to go to the hospital. He was on IVs, this and that. He was getting a little better after a few days, and then he decided to leave the hospital. He got high. I ended up catching him. Somehow the hospital told me he left, so I ended up calling places around the hospital, like Family Dollar, like places like that, and I ended up finding a woman that seen him. I ended up getting her phone number, FaceTimed her, and he came back to the store, and I said, "Call me if he comes back." So she called me. And then I got on the phone with him. It was crazy how I tracked him down. I'm in Boston.
Crazy.
He's in North Carolina. And I found him. And then he makes up this story. He's like, "Bro, I met this kid that was going to give me a ride. But he needs money." Like, crazy story. Then puts the kid on the phone. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to give the kid a ride." And I'm like, "Bro, you serious right now?" Tweaking, geeking out of his mind. I'm like, "Come on, Ryan. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Get back to the hospital." I ended up paying the kid off and the girl at the store for helping me to get him back to the hospital. Wow. We got him back in the hospital where he went into the ER and he ended up like passing out or whatever, went into a coma. So then he was in the ER, back in the ER for a week, whatever, in a coma. And I was fucking nervous as shit. I thought he was going to die. I'm like, damn, this kid's going to die on my watch. Mm. And luckily he didn't. He came out of it, did his time, and then came back home, relapsed again after 6 months or whatever, went back into a coma. Wow. And I think it was a quick coma. And then he lost the feeling below his waist because when he was nodding out so bad, cut off all the circulation from here down. Yeah. So he couldn't walk. So then he had to go to like a nursing home rehab where he had to learn how to walk. And till this day, he's doing good. He lives in a different state. He lives in Maine, clean and sober. And I'm just thankful that
he keeps in touch with you as well.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I got a story for every person. But obviously those are like one of the top two. I'm thankful that everyone that I helped is alive and doing well. I know as of right now, it's one person out of everyone I've helped. One person ended up relapsing and he passed away, but that's it out of everyone I helped. So I'm grateful. And that's it.
All right. So listen, I'm not leaving. I'll move down, but I want to get Bobby right here. If that's cool
of course.
I want Bobby.
You cool with it?
I want to share. Yeah. I want Bobby to share his testimony.
You want me to move over? Or you want me to just stay where I'm at?
Yeah, you good. Whatever you want.
I don't mind sitting close to you. I've been in prison. Don't forget. All right.
Come through, man. Talk to him. So my man Victor got somebody special with us in the building, man. I'm gonna let him introduce him, and he'll tell you a little more about himself, man.
Of course. So I have Bobby here. He's one of my good friends. One of the very beginning guys that I helped get clean, and he's got over 2 years clean because of.
Sorry, Vic.
It's all right.
I felt that.
Over 2 years clean because of not me, but everyone that believed in him and himself, who really took the ball and he ran with it as far as he could. So, Bobby, I'll let you speak.
Yeah, well, my name's Bobby, like you said. So Victor helped me about 2 years and 2 months ago. I was started drinking when I was 15 years old.
Goddamn.
I ran away when I was 15 with the girl I met online.
What race are you, by the way?
I'm Salvadorian. From
You
Salvador.
gangster. Like, you was 27 already at that time. Y'all age different. 15 is 27, but keep going.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I ran away from home. You know, my parents put me in something called the PINS warrant,
Yeah.
which stood for People in Need of Supervision, which basically meant if my son does any crime, I don't want you to take my other kids, stating that I'm a bad mom.
Oh, wow.
So I got home, my mom went to the precinct and came back with the cops to arrest me. They're like, we're taking you till you're 18. So basically there was like it's called like juvie for
Yeah.
life. They wanted to put me, and my mom was putting me there. So I'll never forget it. One of the officers, I think it was like his way of telling me to go. He's like, you're going to be here alone for 5 minutes. I'm going to take a phone call. He goes, if you got anywhere to go, this is the time. So he left, and I ran away. I called some girl. I called some girl that I knew online. This is the AOL chat room days.
Yeah.
And I ran away with her. I just ran away. Within a week, she got pregnant. And that's when I had my first kid. So I was basically alone most of my childhood, growing up. And
Were
then
you getting high at this time?
I was smoking weed, drinking a little bit, but that's really when it started. I moved to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was Amishville, only Amish people. There was nothing to do there.
And that girl that you paired up with, she was getting high and drunk as well?
No, she was more responsible. She was like 2 years older than I was. She was, working. She was a lot more responsible than I was. I wasn't used to it. Like I said, I went from living Queens, New York City to an Amish Lancaster. There was horse and buggies everywhere. I wasn't used to it. Everyone there, all they did was drink and get high. That's all people did for fun. So I was like, all right. And I started drinking. And I thought it was normal. I came back home when I was 18. At that point, my PINS warrant was gone already. So
This nigga was on the run for 3 years, my nigga.
Why? Because you're 18, legally
They can't fuck with you.
they
Yeah,
can't do
they can't fuck
nothing.
with
So
you.
You're an adult, right?
Exactly. So after that, the case dropped. So if I did anything, my mother wasn't going to be jeopardized. Like, all right, you got yourself in trouble. You figure it out.
Yeah.
So I came back home and I just kept drinking. Kind of like Victor was saying with his story. Selling drugs just came easy to me. It was just a means to an end. And I wasn't doing it because I needed to. My parents, thank God they gave me, my sisters, a really good upliving. My older sister's an accountant for the New York Stock Exchange. My little sister's a nurse practitioner.
Lit.
So they went to good schools. They went to good universities. I had the same things offered to me. I just never took them. And then eventually, my 20s went by, and I was living life. I thought I was a shit. Like one of those cocky kids from New York that I was just better than everyone in my mind. And then my 20s became my 30s, and then I started partying by myself at home. The girls left, everything left. It was just me on my sofa with a bottle of Grey Goose.
That was your girl.
Yeah, that was my
that
girl.
was the girl. That was the
basically.
girl.
That's when social media came out, and I was never big on. I never liked TikTok. My kids like TikTok, and my son one day tells me, "Oh, the same thing you're doing on Instagram. I was watching Reels." He's like, "That's the same thing TikTok is." So I started getting on TikTok just to watch, and I bumped into Victor's videos. So when I started seeing Victor's videos, he was raising money for other people. And I would jump on his live and request money. Instead of sending him money, I would request money from his cash app. And I was like,
Fucking
what?
New Yorkers,
Send me
bro.
$50. Send me $50.
Trying to scam me.
Yeah, and I was like, and then one day, he was helping Kevin, which was the first guy he helped. And something just told me to reach out. I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this anymore. And I reached out to Kevin. And I told him, look, I don't know you. I called him on Instagram. I'm like, oh, this guy ain't going to pick up. I'm like, he ain't gonna. But it was I used it as an excuse to be like, hey, you know what? I tried.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, oh, I tried to get. I'm
it's
done.
all good.
But he picked up.
Wow.
He picked up the phone and he's
Now I
like,
gotta
"What's up?"
follow through.
Yeah, and I'm like, and we're talking and I'm telling him what's going on. I'm like, look, I don't want to drink. I don't want to get high. I don't know what to do. He's like, just talk to me. And we spoke for 3 hours. Never met this person in my life, and I didn't drink that day. I went home. I slept. And to me, that was a lot, because one day, it was a lot to me back then. So he was like, look, I know a guy. He told me about Victor. He's like, I'm going to see if I can connect you guys. Maybe, if you really want it, if you really want the help, we'll help you out. So I went on Victor's live again that day, or the next day. And I told him, I was like, look, just pass me the ball. I'll never forget it. I was like, just give me the ball and I'll do the rest. All I need is you just give me the opportunity. And he did. He was like, all right, let's see what we can do for you. He raised the funds in a live. I still have the live on my phone because I watch it every so often. I'm crying because I'm sitting there, I'm watching this guy, $5,000 to get you the treatment, $10,000 to get. I'm like, who the hell are these people? I can't even get someone to give me $1.
Yeah, shit is real. TikTok's a different planet. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
TikTok's a different planet.
No, I got to get on.
Yeah, it's a different planet.
30 minutes, they raised the money. So Victor and the donors like, pack your bags, you're going to Boston. I'm like, whoa, this is way too quick. Like, I can't do this yet. I got to tell my kids. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I told my mom, I told my family, but when I had to tell my son especially, it broke my heart. I found out during COVID that I had a 12-year-old daughter that I didn't know about. I told her as well, and that was like the first time her and I had like a fatherly moment. I told her what was going on, and in my drunk state, I messaged her out of the blue, and I was like, I'm dying. So she took that. I was like, what do you mean you're dying? I just met you. You can't die on me now. Like, I just found out who you are 2 days ago. So I'm telling her that I'm going to treatment, and I just started crying. And she was 12 at the time. And she's like, I understand that you're going to get yourself better. So, do what's best for you. But when I told my son, he was young, he didn't understand it. He was like, why can't you do it from here? Why do you have to leave? Why can't I see you? Why can't I go with you? And it broke my heart. Like, I think about it and I'm like, I never want to put him through that again. Sorry.
You good, bro.
And when I was in treatment, I was there for about 45 days. Victor said I could stay there as long as I needed. Halfway through, I was done. I told myself, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. I need to leave this place. Somehow Victor convinced some of the other guys to start asking me questions like, what's his name? Who's the mom? Who? I'm like, what the fuck are these people asking me? But I couldn't put one and one together. I wake up one morning and I go outside and my daughter's there with her mom and I'm like, what the fuck? And he called her and he paid her ticket. He's like, you gotta go up there. He needs you. And that kept me there the rest of my time because I was ready to go. I saw my daughter. I cried. I saw her. He gave me some money. He's like, look, go take the day, spend it with your kid. And that gave me the energy to keep going. And eventually, I know myself. I'm the type of person that I get used to stuff as any addict. We have an addictive personality. So I knew the longer I stayed in this facility, the harder it was going to be for me to come home. I live alone. I have family, I have friends, but I don't associate with nobody. So I knew the longer that I was in this house, we were in a house with 26 guys. There was always someone there to talk to. So I told myself, I knew I had to leave earlier before I got too comfortable with that place. So eventually I came home. I started doing what I had to do. And thank God now, like I said, 2 years later, I've got a full-time job. I'm back in college.
Let's go.
I'm on the presidential list.
What? A real scholarship, a college scholarship. Because I ain't never get no scholarship in my life, but a rehab scholarship. You got the real deal. You got the real.
The dean's list, and it's all things that I was able to do, because of sobriety. And I sit there to this day and I'm like, meeting him, like you guys said, he's doing God's work. It was a blessing. It's an angel that literally touched my shoulder. And like I said, in reality, we're the ones that do the work, but he opens that door.
He's looking over you like Papa Dios.
Exactly.
He's looking over you like God.
Exactly.
Make sure you're doing the right thing.
I couldn't open those doors for myself. But when he was able to, lead me down the right path, it let me be the person I was meant to be. Because I wasn't a bad person. Yeah, we've all done fucked up things, like you were saying. We've all done bad things in addiction to get, our vice and to get our, our whatever we needed. But at the end of the day, one thing that I have noticed about homeless people, especially being around Victor, some of these people are the most humblest people you ever met. I'm a greedy motherfucker. You offer me a blanket, I want 10 of them. I've seen Victor offer a homeless man a blanket, I'll take one. No, you want another one? No, I'm good, give it to somebody else. People, I couldn't do that, but you want to offer me? Yeah, I'll take 5 blankets. I don't need any of them, but I want all 5 of them, right?
They're always looking out for each other in the streets, which is awesome.
But one thing I've noticed is that they're very humble people, and people have this stereotypical, assumption that they're bad, that, it's just one wrong decision, any of us could be in that predicament.
Right.
You got bad people in every position. It's like there's good people and there's bad people everywhere. So you can never, just because a person is poor, you can't judge them. You know what I'm saying?
My grandmother said, because you said that one bad decision, my grandmother always used to say, it takes 1 second to get into trouble and then a lifetime to get out of it.
Exactly. Yep.
That's right.
You know, how's your relationship with your son?
Now, well, I had my first son, like I said, when I was 15. I was never a father to him. You know, I was a baby with the baby. When I got sober, he's 20 years old, and he's more of a man than I've ever. Till this day, he's more of a man than I am. And he came up to me, he told me, "You weren't able to play a father to me, but he has kids." He's like, "But maybe you could be a grandfather to these kids." And it was his way of letting me back into his life, because he didn't have to. He could have been like, "You know what? You never did anything for me. You don't deserve to see these kids." And he would have been right.
But he's a good man because he's putting his kids before whatever animosity or resentment he has towards you,
Exactly.
because he knows that you being in their lives is a good thing for them.
Exactly.
Because they're going to see other people and say, "Wow, everybody else got a fucking grandfather. Where's my
Yeah,
grandfather?"
that's right.
So now that's going to fill that void. You know what I mean? Because if they're going to grow up wondering, their brains wire a different way to compensate for what they don't have. And it's like, you know what I mean? And then you don't know what that different wiring is going to result in. Addiction, fucking sexual promiscuity, you know, so many different things.
Sucking, fucking.
Oh
With
God.
my younger son, like I said, me and him have the closest bond. I've been with him since day one. Him and I now, like, I think in a way, he always, you know, he saw me partying. I did things with him, or that he witnessed that he shouldn't have saw at that age. You know, but I think that him seeing me be so at my miserable, you know, so down, and being able to bring myself up has also opened up his eyes to be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do that. You know, like now he's 15 now, he goes out with his friends, and I always tell him, look, you know, people are gonna offer you shit everywhere you go. You know, you just gotta, and he's like, no, Dad, he goes, I see what it does. And I know he's talking about me, you know, but I think that it also taught him, like I said, you know,
Yeah, fucking
like,
use me as an example.
Exactly.
man.
That's right.
You know,
If you're gonna use
the best
anybody, use
example.
me. Use
And
me.
the fact that you're good now, everybody's happy. It's you know,
Exactly.
that's
You know,
the way it was
he's-
supposed to happen.
Exactly. He's more of at the age now. He's like, you know what? My dad went through hell and came back, and he knows that he was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, motivations that I had. And so this day, whenever I think, because we all have dirty, you know, the mind always comes back and seeps through your head, bad thoughts. He's one of the first people that I think of when I think of fucking up. I'm like, you know what? I can't do this to him again. He doesn't deserve it. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, my recovery is for me. I come first because, you know, recovery is a selfish game, but everyone else eats off of it when you're eating.
Yeah, you're the record label.
Exactly.
You're the umbrella. Everybody's under you, and you know what I mean. They look up to you, type shit. You got
So
family,
now,
people who love
watching
you.
him, our relationship is so much better. You know, like he doesn't. Before I would go, I'm like, I'm going to the store. It could be 1 a.m. He'd be like, Dad, I want to go with you. Because he knew that I was going to go do shit I wasn't supposed to. Now I'm like, all right. He's like, all right, see you in a little bit. He doesn't babysit me anymore. Sad to say, but I was getting babysat by like
Trust, brother. The trust is back.
Exactly. He knows
Trust and a reputation. Those are things that take so long to build.
That's right.
And the fucking split second to destroy.
That's right.
You could be friends
Yeah,
with
you
somebody
heard Vic?
for
They
30
still
years.
babysitting me, Vic.
You did everything great. You told
I
him, "Go fuck your
traumatized
mother
everybody."
One time. It's done, right?
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that one person you let in, or that one thing you fucking do to fuck up, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, you know, it's been wonderful gifts. Even my daughter, like now, like I said, I met her when she was 12. I didn't know she existed. Well, I met her through an ancestry.com. It linked her and my son as siblings.
Crazy. This nigga was partying his ass off, buddy.
And linked them as siblings. So this was during COVID. I remember my cousin used to, like, has a joke. She was like, COVID was so bad, people were finding their baby daddies and shit. Like, so, like, you know, like that's when I found out about her. When I first met her, you know, I could only, like, it was hard on me. I'm a grown ass man. I could only imagine what it was on a 12-year-old girl.
You remember her mom?
No.
Holy
At the
shit.
time I was sitting there, I was like, the only reason I was able to recognize it because her sister dated my man.
Okay.
And she was like, that's when Jerry came out of jail. So I called my friend Jerry. I'm like, when'd you come home? He's like, I don't know, like 13 years ago.
Doing a
And I was like,
man.
wait a second, 13
Yep.
years, a year pregnant. I was like, do you remember these girls? He's like, oh, the Mexican girls. And I'm like, oh, you remember them? And then she told me, she was like, you were so fucked up. She was like, you were always drunk or high. She goes, we looked for you for years. She goes, I thought you were either in prison or dead.
Oh my
She's
God.
like, that's what I told my daughter. Like, he's either in jail or he's dead. So then when we found each other, me and her had a bumpy relationship. She called me him for like almost like a year and a half. Of
Oh, yeah, him.
You know, she was like him. Now we have a good relationship. At least I consider it.
She was doing pronouns before pronouns.
Oh God.
She was ahead of the game, my nigga. Oh yeah, she was a fucking trend. She's a trendsetter, my nigga. Hit him. This guy over here. Ow. Yo, she was ahead of the game, my nigga. Wow.
Now, like I said, it's like I said, it's all, and she hates alcohol. You know, her family also has an issue with alcoholism. So me drinking was one of her biggest pet peeves. And he's a fucking drunk. You know, but now she's, you know, she sees the person I'm becoming. She sees like how I'm trying to be better for her and for the kids. So I think it's made our relationship a lot better.
So y'all together now?
What, me and her mom's? No. No. Yeah, we're cool. We know she's engaged. Exactly. But, you know, me and her, we have a great relationship. Yeah. And then my daughter, like I said, it's finally coming into place. And like we were talking about before in group, you know, as an addict, you want that instant gratification, right? You want it now. And it's something that I had to learn that.
Suavemente.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we do drugs, for that instant head
high.
the mind altering. We can't deal with what's going on in front of us, so instantly I want to fucking go somewhere else.
Exactly.
And that's what happens, and you become so used to that you think everything else. Now you think the cleanup of the mess is going to be like that, but it's not.
Never is.
Fucking
not.
mess we made, bro.
Yeah. It's not easy.
It took you 20 years to fucking clean up. They think you're going to go to rehab for 30 days and it's going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, there's no
It
way.
may take just as long of a time as you took you to make the mess to clean it up. But
Some people don't even clean it up.
Every
100%.
step, every
Start with a
step
new name.
of getting back to that place is worth it.
All the
You know what I
obstacles
mean?
that you overcome,
Right.
it's
So
well
you
worth
have that
it.
incentive to
Yeah.
know what you're doing is worth it. The other way, you're destroying your life. So there's no incentive to do it. There's no incentive.
Exactly. And like
Right.
you
That's
also
why
learn
it's
the
nuts.
tools. You learn the tools in the recovery. Like I said, there's been times I'll call Victor. I don't talk to him on an everyday basis, but I know that if I need him, he's there for me.
He's on deck.
You know, and thank God, you know, my family, like I said, I was financially stable. I never had to be like, he's helped people with their rent, you know, like, I need this. I never had, but he's always been there for what I needed him for. Hey, you know what, I'm having a bad day. All right, give me 5 minutes, I'll call you. He'll drop whatever he's doing. Hey, you know what, give me 5 minutes. You need to talk, I'm here for you. You know, and sometimes you need that more just to have someone guide you. You know, or knowing, like I said, I have a good relationship with my father now. My father was an alcoholic too. My father's always been around. He's been with my mom. They're still married. But me and my father never had that really close of a relationship. I have a lot of resentment towards him. He used to drink a lot. And I was always that one kid that I would feel the need to make problems at home. So my dad would come home and yell at me. He wouldn't yell at my mom. He wouldn't yell at my sisters. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be the bad one. So my dad yells at me and he leaves the girls alone. And I think that's why me and my father, you know, don't get along.
So you were kind of protecting them.
In my mind. Because
In your way.
I remember when I was like 15, 16, I became, you know, grown. Yeah. I used to get drunk and go to my mom's house and knock on his door and be like, all right, now come hit me. Yeah. Let's do this now.
Yeah, I'm ready for you, motherfucker.
But at that point, he stopped drinking. You know, he changed around. Yeah. And my older sister even said, I remember this one time I was pissed drunk and I grabbed the phone. I was so drunk, I threw it like left way. He was right here. And my sister was like, do you blame him now? Like, the shit that he put Bobby through. Do you blame Bobby for being this?
Yeah, wow.
You know, and like I've been able to forgive him a lot, but I don't, to this day, me and him don't see eye to eye. You know, like I love him as because he's my father. But there's always that regret, that inner child of mine that's like, yo, why couldn't you just do right by me?
Yeah, but that's why nowadays kids are handled with kid gloves.
I know.
Everybody's so sensitive and stuff like that. Because the way we grew up, or even before you guys, I'm 48 in the 80s. Like, I grew up old school Italian parents. You get out of line, you're gonna get fucking beaten.
You're gonna get that spoon.
You're gonna get what they would arrest somebody else for assault.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what that is. You know what I mean? We don't even realize, but we were fucking abused, and that's why now. Yeah. And then you get so many people turned out so fucked up, but that's the way they thought to discipline their kids.
That's right.
The old school time, they don't know nothing else. You get out of line, you're gonna get hit with a table, a chair.
That's right.
All that.
That's right.
The fucking.
Yeah, I used to get the spoon.
The electric cable that you got to put all the plugs in. That shit.
Yeah.
I would get the spoon if the spoon was the closest thing near.
If she was cooking and I fucked up,
yeah,
I get the spoon.
Yeah. Get what
Definitely.
but said, your dad, you know, he's a hardworking guy, right?
Yeah.
This and that. So what, he didn't think what he was doing is
That's
abuse.
exactly what he told me.
That was their era.
One time.
That was their
My
era.
father was an animal, bro. My father worked construction, but that dude had hands, boy. He beat the shit
Yeah,
out of us. But he
same
didn't think that
thing.
was abuse. He thought that this is how I love you. I want you to learn better. And the way I think I can teach you that is by whipping your ass. But later on, many years later, we come to find out that
It's
this
abuse.
is not what you do.
Yeah.
You don't-
She was Game of Thrones.
They're gonna resent you. The fuck? Exactly the way you feel about your dad and that word resentment. That is why, because of that kind of stuff. So now it's like, now everybody's so sensitive because they're being taught a more civil way.
That's right.
You don't just beat your kids up because he spilled a little milk on the floor. You smack the shit. You know what I mean? That's the way we thought.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I thought. Till I remember this one time I spoke to my aunt, and she's like, "Did you know your dad once? My uncle jumped out of a moving bus back in El Salvador and broke his hand. Nothing to do with my dad, and my grandfather crucified him. Like stood him outside and just hung him. And she was like, you know, like it had nothing to do with it, but your father should have been watching him, so he got blamed. So I started thinking about him like, I never got crucified, you know? Like,
Really crucified?
Sure.
well, like yeah, like hung. I mean, not like
No, I know, but maybe ropes
yeah,
or whatever.
roped and had him there for like hours supposedly. And I'm thinking about
Your
this.
family's very religious.
Put him like Jesus.
yeah.
So I think about it now. I'm like, you know, kind of like what you said. Like, you know, to him, he's like, all right, I didn't crucify my son. I'm just gonna hit him. I'm gonna raise him better.
Taking it easy on him.
Exactly.
I'll smack him in his mouth.
Exactly. So like, it's kind of what they were taught, you know.
Thank Dad.
See, that's what happened.
Thank Dad. It's not abuse if it comes from Dad.
It turned out just fine. All that abuse. Look.
Fucking shit.
But yeah, but now even me, like I realize me as a parent now, I've never laid a hand on my son. You know, I tell him I love him all the time because I never heard it from my parents. Yeah, I know they love me, but
Yeah, but sometimes they do get out of line. You got to let them know what you're doing is wrong.
Right in the tush.
Not in a physical way, but even sometimes, you know what, man? Sometimes when my dad, like when he was really fucking mad, he was so mad that he wouldn't hit me
Yeah.
because it's past, it's worse.
Yeah.
I remember that.
He knows he hurt you.
That had a more profound effect. That it was more effective. Like wow, like
Keep you wondering, like,
Hey, you
damn.
also wonder.
yeah, is it coming?
When is it
Is it
gonna
coming
come?
later?
Is it coming later
Is this
with
a
my
sneak
sleep?
attack?
I would have been shook for like
Yeah,
3
because
days.
sometimes like when you don't expect it, bang, you know, they say
Boom.
revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
You never
this guy's
know.
gonna come in later on. Every day I
Yeah.
thought the smoke is clear and stuff beating the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
This one time I stole my dad's car and I crashed it.
If I go by,
I thought he was gonna murder me. We were going home, nothing happened. A day goes by, nothing happened. I'm like you said, I'm waiting for it to come. And he goes up to my uncle. He's like, at least he learned how to drive. And I was like, all right, well.
I crashed my father's car too, and you thought he was gonna come in and whip my ass
Yeah.
because the car's in the driveway. He's got to go out there. I'm in the room saying, please, please. You know what I mean? Because I went to go get drugs, right? I fucked it up right down the street from my house. I ripped off the whole bumper because the car's going, tut, 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 tut. So I thought it was the bumper. I ripped the whole thing off. It wasn't even that. I got a fucking half a bumper on the 87. And I'm
Oh
thinking the
my
car,
God.
and it's still making the noise. I said, oh shit, maybe I should go back and get the bumper. But, right? So then but you know what he did, my father? Because he's like he's not abusive, but he came in and grew up tough, man. Came from another country, worked his boy. He came in my room, he leaned down and gave me a kiss, and he asked me if I'm okay. So you know what I mean? Sometimes,
Yeah.
but they're not, that's not abuse.
Exactly. To them, that was their norm.
That's what they do. So which means they probably got it worse than us.
Oh my God. Yeah. Definitely.
Nigga, my parents, my mom was raped, nigga. My mom was raped. Like, that's how they got abused when they was kids. Like, my mom was raped by her sisters, husbands, and all that. You can edit this shit, because I don't even want to put a business on Facebook. But it was brutal back in those days.
Yeah.
60s, fucking 70s.
It wasn't easy back
They
then.
was getting raped, bro. There was no DNA. There was no social workers coming to
No
help
one
you.
telling.
Nothing. Straight Vikings getting drunk in Puerto Rico and raping everybody.
I bet.
Shit was brutal. Because my
In Colombia, they do that too.
yeah, same shit. Because my mom had older sisters. My mom was young, and her soul sisters was damn near married already. So their fucking husbands were coming in drunk, just picking one of the litter. It was
There's a
brutal.
joke they say in Colombia, right? Because that's where I was born. Because Colombia is the only country in the world that has the Andes Mountains and the Amazon jungle both in one country.
Yeah.
Okay, the Colombian colors of the flag are yellow for the gold found in the country, the blue for the water on the three sides, and the red for all the blood that the people have shed over the years. Colombia is the second biggest exporter of flowers in the world. Nobody knows that because they're famous for cocaine and coffee.
Yeah.
But after the Dutch, Holland, Colombia's the second biggest exporter. So there's a lot of beautiful stuff.
Yep.
And there's oil. There's
It's a lot of shit over there.
so many cash crops and flowers, all this beautiful stuff. But it's the men because they rape a lot of women, stuff like it's crazy fucking place. So an angel says to God, he says, God, how did you, bless this one country with all these natural reasons, all this beautiful stuff? And God says, wait till you see the people. Wait till you see these motherfuckers, and then you're gonna see why I put those pretty flowers. So you don't see half of these ugly motherfuckers and what they're doing over there. So.
But yo, listen, Bobby, thank you for your story, my brother. Appreciate you.
Bobby.
It's getting late. Victor the Good Boss, the Culture Project, my brother Lilo.
And happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Happy
and your
Thanksgiving.
families.
Everybody, man, make sure y'all tune in, like, subscribe, rock with the YouTube channel. It's called The Culture Project. Rock with us. We outside. The Culture Project. Make sure you look us up on YouTube. Like, subscribe with your mother, your uncle. We got flavors for all ages, y'all. So don't sleep on us. Stay tuned. Bye con Dios. I love you guys. Yo, thank you for that story, brother.
Wow.